All right, Huy, welcome. Thanks for doing this with us. You know, I like to start these conversations with our customers, letting them share a little bit more about the company that they work for, in your case, Monolithic Power Systems, as well as your role and the program that you've built. So if we could just start with the company that you work for and your role there, that would be great.
Yep. So my name is Huy, and I work with Monolithic Power Systems, which is a fabless semiconductor company in the South Bay. The company was started in 1997 with a gentleman called Michael Singh, and our corporate headquarters in Kirkland, Washington. So what we specialize in, the space that we are in, is data center, communication, consumer, and then lately it's NVIDIA acceleration. We specialize in power, right? The company have been grown tremendously. When I first started working there, the stock was $180, and today I think we're like 700. So
Wow.
The company have been growing tremendously. So I started working there right before the pandemic. I'm taking over an organization after they've been hacked by the attacker. So I coming in, help doing with IR, and then that opportunity turned into a full-time job. So I have the privilege in working, building the entire infrastructure from the ground up, and also implement a new security program. My vision around security is I want to make sure that we build something is secure and always on with zero trust, no trust, but validate, right?
Sure.
So how do we achieve that? My background, it came from data center and infrastructure. So in my career, I spent about 12 years at Oracle building out the global development infrastructure. So, in the environment where you work globally, your infrastructure have to always on. Otherwise, every time you have a downtime, it's going to cost the company tremendous money. So because of that, and I'm also spending 3 years over at Intuit supporting their TurboTax, which is a pretty critical, mission critical application when it comes to tax season. And then I did a couple IT transformation for Ancestry.com, taking traditional IT and turn them into a service IT organization.
Sure.
So because of that, I have very strong data center background, right?
Do you think that I find this as a common trend in a good way with a lot of security leaders, where if they've come from a background of an always on global enablement job, which is IT infrastructure, there's almost this empathy that you have as a security leader for the broader business and what you're doing there. The famous quote is something of the sort of IT's job is to give you the laptop, security's job is to take it away. And with that IT background, there's that balance, I think, that you're able to bring to the table.
So in a lot of executive mind, IT really help that. Your job is just to, hey, my printer not working. My laptop is not working, but that has been evolved in the last, I would say, 10 years. The IT job it become a lot more and more complex when it comes to, let's say, security and stuff like that, because our job, our mission is to protect the company. So what that means is, for me as an IT leader, I have always think of the impression that I will be hacked at any given time. I mean, if you look at Sony, Samsung, a lot of big corporations where they have hundreds of people and they still get hacked. So for us, how can we run the most efficient IT organization? So what my vision is, we have to be secure infrastructure, right? So the way to accomplish that is where I came from with data center. And every time when an attacker hit your infrastructure, the first thing that what they do is they leave you behind with a ransom note. So the infrastructure that we're building out, we are with critical application. What we do is we take a very regular snapshot, as short as an hour for critical application. So how is that going to help us? Let's say, for example, you have a SharePoint with 5 terabytes or a shared drive with 5 terabytes. Just imagine if you have to restore that using traditional backup and restore. That would take you months. And how much damage could that, let's say that is your sales and marketing, and you're at the quarter end.
Yep.
You will not be able to get into, you cannot close deal.
Yep.
So with the methodology that we build, we will be able to recover that, I would say, in minutes.
So takeaways so far are, you've had an opportunity to build this program from the ground up. You've built it from almost a set of first principles. This idea that a lot of lessons you've learned from a IT infrastructure standpoint still have a tie-in to, in fact, a very important tie-in to the security domain. And bringing those together, it sounds like IT mindset and security mindset converge at Monolithic Power Systems under you for the better. Now, out of curiosity, you've also highlighted things like zero trust. You've highlighted things like effectively being proactive and very thoughtful about how you do things like mitigate ransomware risk. Are those the kind of things that drew you to Reach Security's approach and I guess our ethos and what we want to deliver to customers?
That's a great question. So we taking security in a very different approach. So as you know, in our space, security, talent is always shorted, right? So what we do is when I'm building out the new security program, I partner with a lot of founders like yourself, right? Looking at for what is the next generation of security protection. So a lot of people more comfortable with mature company, legacy company, but some of the problem, for example, that I'm solving for is DLP, right? So we are intellectual company.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of stuff that we need to be able to see from our user community what coming in, what going out, and why going out, right? So at first, when we were looking at some of the legacy DLP, a lot of them are very, very complex to implement and also very expensive, right? So what I did was I found a very young startup and I partnered with them. And what I do was I say, this is the UK that I'm trying to solve, okay? So if you can, number one, commit in working with me in building out this UK, and then we work together, our partner, then we will get into business together. So I found one that actually willing to work with me, and that's what we did. But then when we're looking at the operation model from the product that was built, was very hands-on. You need people to actually monitor and then remediate and stuff like that. So even though we have a tool, but we still very reactive, and things happen, we have to go back and we check. So instead, what we do is we changing the model by define and understand the step to remediate. Then we leverage an automation tool to help us to do all that. So today, for the last, I say 4 years, we have been using this technology. So we currently manage globally with 15 offices and over 4,000 employees with less than 10 security engineers.
Wow.
Majority of my infrastructure, everything from onboarding and offboarding is fully automated. As soon as you hire somebody, you enter in the HR system, everything will automatically provisioning, to the laptop.
So the couple pieces there that are stand out. The first is the way in which you look to partner with companies. So partnering with companies that are doing something innovative and willing to work with the companies and the customers to bring something to life is something that you're passionate about, and that sounds like something that's drawn you towards Reach. The second element, which totally stands out to me, is this idea that whatever can be automated with the appropriate context, from discovery to remediation, should be. And it sounds like that's what appealed to you with Reach and our vision here with becoming the operating system, if you will, for security infrastructure. So how has that played out since you become a customer of Reach?
So I thought, I'm always looking for how to continue to improve our security efficiency. So when I first talking to your team and you guys, your message was, hey, do you know how your firewall been configured? What rule have been using? Do you know how your email security config? You know how your EDR config and how well they do, right? One of the pain point that even though we have customer success, we do regular health check. There is so much dynamic change in our environment. People going in and out, new function, new feature coming out. That for us, sometimes we oversee it, right? Which it basically, I think, another big brother helped me watching what have been in my infrastructure. For example, in the firewall space, if you're familiar with Palo Alto,
I know.
shadow rule, right? That's always been something that over time, there's a lot of shadow rule that create a lot of slowness and there's a lot of security holes.
Sure, stale rules.
So traditionally, what you do, you hire a network security consulting coming in, basically download all your rules, validate, eyeball them, and check them, and see which one need, which one doesn't need, and then you may change them. With which, all I have to do is basically just config, let them talk together, and you guys tell me what I need to change. I'm also working with the customer success team, and we rolling out our our email security. And we discover something that we did not aware of, right? So like, for example, in some of the region within our company, they are very big with file transfer. So they're using a lot of encryption, or compression, file within, Outlook. So that is, when you get email phishing, that is a good way of attacking it, right? So because of that, we are now have visibility to the security tool that that we deploy in our infrastructure, and we have another layer of audit.
Yeah, I think the idea of virtual big brother over your security infrastructure is a fun visual to keep in mind. We've heard it described as a virtual assistant, but at the end of the day, it sounds like the value is in finding or identifying risks, and how your security infrastructure can either help address those risks, or the security infrastructure itself not being configured and introducing the risk.
I think what we do is just like you say, right? We took it a very conservative way. First, we basically take the baseline of what we see, and then my approach with the team is, hey, we see that. Can we meet it in a small group to see what it impacts, how it impacts, and what do we see differently? One, we validate that, make sure that we are not breaking anything by implement that. Then we roll it out, globally. So we have been, I would say, I was surprisingly, when we first rolling out, we found quite a few situation in our security tool for email. But we were able to work with the team and working collaboratively. And I would say I'm about 3 months into using it, and majority of my email security have been cleaned up. And then also with EDR, why we cleaned out, I would say a lot of noise out there.
Yeah, that's great to hear time to value. I think that's important for any product, but especially a product in our domain. You don't want to create a bunch of work without being able to remediate it quickly. And it sounds like we'll be able to help on that journey. Where do you see the industry moving? Sounds like maybe more the direction of how you've taken your program, but I'd love your input here. Where do you see the industry going, and what would you like to see from Reach to help support that direction and that vision?
I would say the two areas that that you will see new tool coming out, everything is around AI, right? So, AI for the end user, AI for LLM, right? So I think if Rich is going to be in the space where you continue to, looking at all the tools that is out there that security is using for, that would be an area that I hope that we will be partner with some of the founder and bringing their tool in. That is one space. The second space, because there's a lot of deepfake, there's a lot of thing around ransomware, right? So there is another layer on top augmentation for EDR. So let's say, for example, even though here's the problem with EDR, let's say, for example, when the attacker, they were able to hit IAM, get into identity and say, oh, John Smith is the server admin, he has the key to the kingdom. The attacker hijack the password or get access to that account, then they start doing bad things in the infrastructure. EDR are not going to be able to detect that. So there's another layer of ransomware protection where they're protecting your shadow file. They will be able to revert it back because that is a quicker and faster and cheaper way of recover when you hit by ransom. And if you guys can partner with them and see what they have, because nothing is perfect. They also have some loophole that I already found as well, right? So like, for example, some of the protection that they protecting me, but they also broke my infrastructure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think those are the two things that keep me up at night. Number one is the sophistication of the hacker community on how quickly that they can penetrate, if they want to get into your account, right? Secondly, the growth of the AI security, how people access the data, how that data get leaked to the foundation, especially we have a lot of intellectual property. And another one is, within a lot of my developer leveraging LLM making call, so if you can partner with those, that I think that will be the next thing that CISO will worry about.
Yeah, it's great. So the idea is being able to indirectly serve those use cases by partnering with innovative technologies in the ransomware space as well as in the AI security space. I think we know a few companies around here that might be able to help. I think that pretty much wraps up the conversation that I wanted to have with you today, Huy, and thank you for coming out and doing this. Appreciate, just to highlight for the group, both the ideas around building a program from scratch and how you got here for what's now a 4,000 person organization around the world with 15 offices, some of which I hear that you're still launching, as well as your approach to security being one of a blend of that IT and security experience you built over time. I think that is directionally where the most successful leaders are taking their programs, because at the end of the day, your job is to secure the business. Typically the company's job isn't security. Like, that's not what they sell.
Keep innovate to make my life easier.
Keep on doing it. So we will continue to do that, and thank you for partnering with us.
Yep, thank you. My name is Huy Ly. I'm working for Monolithic Power Systems at the head of global IT security.